Hey you guys, welcome back to K&K's Inspired Creations with Latara. So today I'm going to show you guys how I made probably my absolute favorite cake, this bee themed spring decor. So I started off by grabbing 2 packs of these foam discs that you can find at Dollar Tree. They come in a 2-pack and they're usually in the aisle where all the like florals and stuff are. And then I end up grabbing some black air dry clay. Again, you can get it from Designs by Jenga, or you can get it off of Amazon. Depending on what I'm making, I use both. But for this one, I use the air dry clay off of Amazon. So the first thing you want to do is you want to play with it a little bit, aka condition it, and that gets it warmed up so that when it dries, it shouldn't crack or whatever. And now I am just spreading it out. I'm using the 2 rulers to make sure that it doesn't get too thin. I want it to all be like the same thickness. And so like I said, I'm just rolling it out, and then I didn't like the way it looked. So I'm going to redo it, and I'm going to use a different a different rolling pin. I don't know why I changed rolling pins, but I did. So I'm going to condition it again, get it all warmed up, and then I'm going to use like this smaller acrylic one to roll it out. Sometimes that other rolling pin is just so big for some of the projects I'm doing. But once I roll it out and I get it the thickness that I want, I'm going to go ahead and cut off the top and the bottom because it's just like excess air dry clay. And then I'm going to start to cut these into strips because this is going to go on the sides of the, not the top or the bottom, but the sides of the little foam disc, because this is going to be a layered cake. And this is going to be the layers instead of the layers looking like chocolate cake or like vanilla cake or strawberry cake. It's going to be a chocolate. Well, it's going to be like a black color because it's, going with the bee themed. Like I said, I just cut it into strips. So I cut out 3 strips. I'm going to end up cutting out a 4th one because I do have 4 of these. And so I am going to take my silicone glue, which I tell you guys about all the time. And all of these supplies should be below in the description. You can get a lot of these off of Amazon. I'll link them there for you. But I use my silicone glue, and that is just to get the air dry clay to adhere to the foam discs because they don't like anything with foam discs. And so it works. It works really good. So I cut off any excess, kind of patted it down. Try not to leave like my fingerprints or anything like that. And then I'm basically going to do the same thing with the other 2. And while I am doing this, I do want to take a moment. Thank you so much for watching my videos. You can be watching anybody's videos on the planet, but you're watching mine. And I'm so appreciative of that. And if this is your first time here, welcome to my little pastel bakery corner of the internet. And if you are returning, hey, fake bestie, thank you so much for coming back. Here we create fake baked desserts, seasonal decor, and fun DIY pieces that look good enough to eat. So if that is your vibe, go ahead and subscribe. So one thing I did do that you probably just saw is that I did add those little mini Jenga blocks that you can get from Dollar Tree in the middle of that foam disc. And the purpose of that is because this is a layered cake, and I don't want the cake to collapse on itself because of the spackle, it's kind of thin. When it's, wet, it's still kind of thin. So the Jenga blocks keeps its structure. It keeps it from collapsing on itself. So the very top, I want to do something different. So I have this cute little mold that I got from Amazon or Temu, and I'll see if I can link this one in the description. But what it did, it gave this really cool like honeycomb effect. So pretty. I love this cake so much. It just came out so good. And this is one of those cakes that I actually didn't get the ideas from anywhere else. I just kind of was like something I kind of just made it up as I went, and it just came out so pretty. I feel like those are the best like crafts, is the ones that you kind of make up as you go, and it just kind of works out. So I'm just adding that silicone glue, spreading it out so that it sticks forever, and then I'm gonna put that on top and then just kind of cut it out so that it kind of fits that. Now it's okay that there is some foam that's showing on the top because I am going to do some like a spackle border around the top of it, and you won't see the white foam at all once we complete this cake. And so that's how it looks. Isn't that pretty? Oh my god. So now the next thing I'm going to do is I need to go ahead and roll out one more little strip to put on that top one, the sides of that very top one. I only put it on the top of it, but it wasn't big enough to go all the way around. So I was like, okay, so I need to, cut out one more strip. And that's pretty much what all I'm doing right now. It's just cutting out another strip, and I'm going to glue it using that silicone glue and glue it to it. And then we'll move on from there. And please do not forget to like, subscribe. Please leave a comment. I love to read your comments. Let me know if this is something that you would take the time out to make. Maybe use different colors. It doesn't have to be bee themed. You can make this exact cake, same cake, doing something else. It could be lemon themed. It can be Christmas, like some type of Christmas theme. But to me, it just came out so pretty. And I feel like you can change the colors up to go with pretty much any season. So now I'm making the icing using spackle, lightweight spackle by DAP. This is what I always use when it comes to some type of icing or something like that. And as you can see, I added some yellow, I added some orange, and I'm going to add a little bit of brown to get the color that I want. And you can pretty much do whatever you need to do to get the the honey color that you want. So now I'm hot gluing that to the so that it doesn't move on me while I'm using the spackle. It just kind of makes it a little bit easier sometimes, especially when it's as light as it is. And so I do have my little piping bag and my piping tip, and I'm going to go ahead and add some of my spackle / my icing into the piping bag so we can get the piping. I did make a lot because, like I said, it was supposed to be in between the layers of the cake, and then also the border on the top of the cake, and then also the border on the bottom of the cake. So I made a lot because I didn't want to run out of it. And I did a good job because I pretty much used all of it. I believe. I think I had some left over for a couple of other projects, but I used most of it on this one. And so I'm just going to go around the border of it because that's all you need to do. You don't want to put it in the middle because that would just literally waste spackle. And you're only going to see the outside of it push. So you want to put it there. I'm using hot glue to adhere both pieces together. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use some alcohol. That's what's in that little thing right there. It's alcohol. And alcohol makes the spackle not stick to your fingers. So I'm using that to kind of just pat down the spackle because it's kind of uneven. Because of, when I piped it or whatever, I didn't make it even. I just kind of put it into that area. And now I'm also using like a little cake tool to kind of spread it out even more evenly. And I want to say that the cake tool worked out the best. It gave probably the better smoothness to it. If that makes sense. But yeah, that's all I'm doing. You can find a lot of that stuff at Dollar Tree, like I said before. Grabbing 2 more of the Jenga blocks, putting it in the middle, and now I'm going to go ahead and pipe another little layer of icing, so that, like I said, this is going to be a layered cake. And then I'm going to do the same thing. Go ahead and hot glue it together with the top. Well, the next piece is not the top yet, but the next piece. And then do the same thing. Add the Jenga blocks. Blah blah blah. Same thing. Oh, of course, smooth it out first. While it's still wet, it's easier to do it while it's wet. You don't want to wait till it dries to do that part. So you want to do that immediately. At least that's my take on it. And so after this layer of spackle, we're going to be adding the top layer to it. We're going to hot glue it and all that good stuff. And of course, we're going to smooth it out because it is still wet. Doesn't that look too cute so far? Oh my goodness. So now I'm going to make a drip. Okay, so I took some glossy Mod Podge because it is a drip. And then I'm going to add some food coloring. I got this food coloring from Dollar Tree. It could just be some really cheap food coloring. Maybe that could be the reason it didn't come out the way that I wanted. But I added a lot of yellow and then 1 drop of red. And although the color looks more like orangey, kind of lemony, not lemony, honey. Kind of looks like honey. Once I finish stirring it around, it kind of gives you honey a little bit. Kind of dark. It's still kind of red. That red, it didn't matter how much red I put in it, even if it was a tiny bit. It came out red. Like when it dried very red. So it doesn't really look like honey. I don't know what it looks like. Maybe like some type of honey, like candy paste. I don't know. But the drip didn't come out that great. But the cake still came out adorable. So now I'm just taking the rest of that spackle and I am piping an edge like a little border. I wanted to have a really nice thick border. Like I said, I am covering up the fact that you can see some of that foam. Also, spackle is a cool thing because it helps cover up a lot of imperfections. And yeah, so I really love how it looks, but I wanted to add more to it. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and do something at the bottom, do like a different type of pattern for the rim of the bottom, which really turned out really, really pretty. It kind of made it look like an actual cake, kind of like a bee themed cake. And then I just added a couple more little embellishments to it, just using that spackle. Like I said, I made a lot, and so I wanted to use a lot of it on this cake because I didn't want to go to waste. Like, this color isn't like a color that you would use on a lot of different projects outside of like the bee theme kind of thing. And it's kind of, in my opinion, a little too dark to be lemon themed. So I was like, I want to use most of it on this cake, and then a couple of other projects outside of this that you guys will be seeing soon. So that's pretty much all I'm doing here. And if you haven't used spackle before, you should definitely try it. It's so fun. It's very satisfying, and yeah, it's just cool. So yeah, just adding a couple more embellishments here. Okay, so the next thing I do is I wanted to add some little mini flowers. These were the only flowers I could find at the time that were small enough. And these are actually from a costume that I bought for like, it was like a 70s themed costume. And this was like the headband. But you could probably find something like this on Amazon. The last thing I did is I added, I'm going to show this again. I took some glue that you can get off of Amazon, and I ended up adding that to the description as well, so you can see it. But they're glue sticks that look like honey, and so all I'm doing is putting the glue sticks inside of this little mold, and when it dried, it gave me like this like candy, glass candy kind of thing. I don't know, you can see it in the final reveal. But as you can see, it did come out absolutely gorgeous. I did add a couple of bees to it that you can find off of Amazon, sometimes at Dollar Tree. But again, thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to like, subscribe. Don't forget to share this video, and definitely leave me a comment because I read all the comments. And until next time, keep it sweet and keep it creative.